going on, everyone? We got some bad news in regards to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has now been ruled out indefinitely with the stress injury in his foot. It doesn't say like it's a stress fracture or anything like that. Basically, looking at the report, like this just came in. I just got this at the time of recording this. The news release citing extensive consultations with Lakers team physicians and outside specialists. Davis was injured December 16th against the Denver Nuggets and experienced discomfort in his right foot, per ESPN's Dave McMenamin. Shams of the Stadium and The Athletic reported Sunday that the injury would cost the forward at least 1 month. The absences are nothing new to Anthony Davis, who played only 40 games last season, 36 games in 2021. The eight-time All-Star was most healthy in 2019 and 2020 as the Lakers won the NBA title, but he has struggled to stay on the floor since. So it looks like Anthony Davis is going to miss very likely more than a month. I'm sure that we'll continue to get updates. This sucks. And this really, this is not good news, right? I mean, this is 3 straight years now. Anthony Davis is probably going to miss ample time. We're not looking good, right? We're so many games out of 500. You can't trade Anthony Davis this year. I know many people, their immediate response is going to be trade Anthony Davis. Who's trading for Anthony Davis right now when he's out who knows how long? Like, what team is giving you the farm for Anthony Davis when, you know, they can't even play him for a month? You know, like, would a team like Phoenix trade you maybe Bridges and Ayton for Anthony Davis? Sure, but they're not going to do it right now because Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. Right? Like maybe in the offseason, maybe if Kevin Durant becomes available, maybe you could try to do some swap, or something, and maybe get Kyrie, KD in some sort of deal, some sort of trade. I don't know. But I mean, this season, you can't trade Anthony Davis right now because you're never going to get fair value for Anthony Davis. Now, maybe a team like, the Knicks, would take him right now because they're like, you're probably not winning a championship this year anyway. Let's go get Anthony Davis. We could, rest him, keep him healthy. No rebuilding team is going to do it because they're not, like, why are they going to give up all their young players, all their young assets? No contending team is going to do it because they're not going to be able to play him. So in order to gut their roster and gut their team to still be a competitive contender with Anthony Davis is going to be tough. But then on top of that, if you do that, you're not going to have Anthony Davis for, a month, maybe 2 or 3. Like, who knows how long? And that becomes the issue. That becomes the problem. So if you're the Lakers, you're kind of stuck. Your hope now is that you can weather the storm long enough for him to come back. Maybe you could get some trade done, and then he's healthy for the playoffs. You make a run in the playoffs. That's kind of where you're at right now if you're the Lakers, in my opinion. Rob Pelinka, he's got to make a real decision, right? Because now you can't wait around if you're going to make a move, right? Now, but here's the problem. It takes 2 teams to work it out, right? Like, you can't force a team to trade with you. That team has to want to trade with you. And if they don't, you're in trouble, right? So, and the asking price on things probably just went up greatly. So, like, what do you do if you're the Lakers? Do you call the Pacers and try to get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield now? And maybe give up both unprotected firsts and maybe throw in a second for their time? Like, it's tough because Rob Pelinka is either going to look at this one of 2 ways, in my opinion. He's going to look at this as like, okay, season's over, no reason in doing a trade. Even if we do make a trade, we're probably not making the playoffs. And if Anthony Davis comes back, he comes back, but we're probably too far behind. Or does he look at this as like, okay, well, if I can make a move that's solid enough that we can just kind of stay, because at least with the play-in, you can be sub 500 and still make the playoffs, right? Like the 10th seed last year only won like 40 games or whatever. I don't even think it was that many, right? So you can obviously like still get into the playoffs. We just got another, as I'm recording this, Lakers hope AD avoids surgery. Woj reports that the pain has subsided in Davis's foot and he will be reevaluated in 7 to 10 days. So it's got to be something pretty serious. I mean, if they're talking like he's trying to avoid surgery, then maybe it is a stress fracture. Maybe he did have a stress fracture in his foot. That's rough. That is bad. And if he has surgery, then that's it. He's done for the season. So, like, if you're Rob Pelinka, what do you do? Maybe you do go do the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal at this point, and then maybe you do look at trading Anthony Davis in the offseason, right? But again, like, you're only going to be able to do so much, and teams aren't going to be willing to help. Nobody cares that the Lakers, our season fell apart, and teams aren't going to try to help them, so if anything, they're going to want more, and they're going to demand more, and they're going to try to get more from the Lakers in any type of deal, which now puts the Lakers in an even worse spot. So what do you do? So do you just ride the season, say, keep the picks, hey, Bron, sorry, try to do what you can. Hopefully AD can come back at some point, but there's no point in us making a trade. There's no point in us making a move when AD might miss the entire season. And if he misses the entire season, it doesn't matter what move we make. We might as well wait until the offseason and then see what we could do in the offseason. Maybe we could get a Kyrie. Maybe we could, take those picks and go make a move, go make a trade, whatever, work out some deals, sign some free agents, stuff like that. Like, what do you do? It's just, it's a tough spot for Rob Pelinka to be in. It's a tough position for any GM to be in. Your best player, your star, the guy that's playing like the best player in the league right now is likely going to miss the entire season or at least a good chunk of the season. Just, I don't know what you do if you're Rob Pelinka. You definitely, look, he's going to be reevaluated in 7 to 10 days. I don't think anything happens until he gets reevaluated to find out if he's going to need surgery or not. Like, if they get news that, like, hey, he'll be back in, like, March, then maybe the Lakers make a move. Maybe the Lakers make a trade to try to, like, okay, well, if we can just kind of be within, a couple games of 500, be in a play-in position going into Anthony Davis's return, maybe we can make a push and kind of get back. But if, like, they're like, yeah, like, he's probably going to need surgery, he's probably done for the year, best case, he's back for the playoffs, then I don't think Rob Pelinka is going to make a deal, because why should you? Like, what deal are you going to make? What move are you going to make that's going to salvage your season? And look, Indiana might not even want to do that trade no more. I don't know. If you're Rob Pelinka, you're in a bit of a rock and a hard place, and yet you almost have to wait until until you get confirmation one way or another, right? Like, right now, it seems like it's kind of up in the air of, like, Anthony Davis may or may not be back. He's out indefinitely. We'll see how he is in a week to 10 days. Like, regardless, like, it's just, no matter how you slice it, like, you can't make a move right now because you don't know what's going to happen. And then, what do you do? What do you do in the offseason? Do you really try to trade Anthony Davis in the offseason? But again, his value's probably going to be low. Like, you need AD to come back and be dominant and healthy the rest of the season. Because then I think you could get some real value for Anthony Davis, right? Like, so say Anthony Davis comes back in March, right? Go on a run, say you get to the playoffs, Anthony Davis is an absolute monster in the playoffs. You end up, say you lose in, like, the first or second round, but Anthony Davis just looked great. Let's say he's like 32-15 during the playoffs. Now going into the offseason, now you could probably make an argument, like, okay, like, you probably have teams that are like, all right, like, let's make a move for Anthony Davis here, right? And they probably would look past the injury bug that Anthony Davis has. This season, do you trade? Yeah, I as much as I hate to say it, I think you have to trade Russ now. You have to, because Russ and LeBron James aren't going to be enough to carry you. They're just not. Like, Russ is great off the bench and he's great in the role he's playing, but Russ is your only piece to really get something. Like, if you're the Lakers, I think you're planning for next season, at least for right now, but you want to get pieces that can still help. Like, I'm not saying do a deal just to do a deal, but at this point, you might as well get something for Russell Westbrook, because there's no deal in the offseason that's going to save your day, except for maybe Kyrie comes. But Kyrie and the Nets seem to have worked it out. And, does he leave? Like, if the Nets offer him a max, does he turn that down? Right? Like, if they figure it out and, because, look, the Nets are, 11-1 in the last 12 games, something like that. Like, so if you're the Lakers, I don't know. You can't trade LeBron, because I know some people are going to say trade LeBron, trade AD, trade everybody. Can't trade LeBron this year. Maybe in the offseason, maybe you can, but you're not getting, like, what value, like, who's trading for a 39-year-old LeBron James that makes sense for the Lakers? Like, who's giving up a bunch of assets and pieces for a max contract 39-year-old LeBron James? Even though LeBron is playing great, nobody's doing that, right? So you're not going to, so you can't trade LeBron. LeBron re-signed with LA for more than basketball reasons. He's got his business. He's making more money than he ever knows what to do with. He's trying to build for life after basketball. But I think you got to move Russ. I do. I think you take Russ, you take the 2 first-round picks, you go try to get some solid deal. Maybe it's the Buddy Hield, Miles Turner deal. Maybe it's, a Spurs deal, and you get, Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, and the trade exception. Then maybe you take the trade exception, go get a deal, and then trade Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and go get a deal. But I think you got to get something for Russ because you're looking for role players and pieces for the future, right? Like, that's the goal. And then hopefully if Anthony Davis comes back in time for the playoffs and maybe you make a run and you're in a play-in spot, and then Anthony Davis comes back and now you can maybe go on a run and you got the depth and you got the talent to maybe do so. If not, next season, hopefully you have the depth and the talent, and, maybe you can work some out. And then if Kyrie wants to come, you work out some kind of sign and trade or something, whatever. You figure it out, right? Like, that's probably what they should do because, keeping Russ, as great as Russ has been off the bench, what we need him to be OKC Russ now. And he's not going to be able to be that with LeBron James. He's just not. Like, we need Russ to be a 30-point-a-game triple-double guy. And I do think he's capable of it. Maybe not 30, but I could see him being a, 20, 22. I could see him being Washington Wizards Russell Westbrook. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. I could see him being that for the Lakers. Problem is he's not going to be able to do that with LeBron James on the team. And you can't trade LeBron, so I think you trade Russell Westbrook. I do. I think you unload Russell Westbrook and you make a move and then you hope AD comes back. I don't know. No matter how you slice it, it's a tough spot to be in. But anyway, what do you think of the news? As always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Is this devastating? Did you foresee this? What do you think? Do you think they should trade AD in the offseason? Do you think they shouldn't? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, good, bad, ugly, somewhere between. I'd love to hear them. Let me know down in the comment section below.